Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that life is a journey, and in this journey, one of the most crucial things we have to do is decide who we walk with, who we share our time, energy, and heart with. Because here's the truth, not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. Not everyone you meet is meant to walk beside you to your destination. We often hear the word investment and think of money, assets, or business. But let me tell you today, the most important investment you can make is in the people around you, the people you choose to surround yourself with, the people you share your space, your mind, your heart with. I want to ask you something. How often do we invest our time, energy, and trust in people who don't appreciate us? People who take but never give. People who don't believe in our dreams. People who pull us down when we're trying to rise. If you're anything like me, you've had your share of bad investments. And let me tell you, they hurt, they leave scars, they drain you of your energy and spirit. But I've learned one thing from those experiences. You are the company you keep. And if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, and people who don't uplift you, you will start to believe that about yourself. You will start to settle for less. You will start to believe that you are unworthy of better. So what do? We stop making bad investments. We stop pouring our time and energy into people who don't see our value. We stop allowing people to treat us as if we're invisible or small. We stop waiting for others to change. We change. We raise our standards. We set boundaries. There is no shame in walking away from people who drain you. There is no weakness in choosing yourself. There is only strength in knowing your worth. And when you choose wisely who you invest your time and heart in, you start to see the beautiful energy that flows back into your life. You start to attract those who encourage, who empower, who believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Remember, the right people don't just bring positivity into your life, they multiply it. The right people are those who help you become the best version of yourself. They cheer for your wins, but they also hold you accountable for your growth. They challenge you to be better, to aim higher, to never settle. But most importantly, the right people respect you. They respect your time, your boundaries, your dreams. They never make you feel like you're too much or too little. With the right people, you feel safe to be vulnerable. You feel seen, you feel heard. So the message today is simple. Don't waste your time on the wrong people. Don't invest in those who will only take from you without giving anything back. Instead, invest in those who believe in you, who encourage your growth, and who help you rise to your potential. Choose wisely. Choose people who make you feel alive, who push you to grow, who walk beside you as you pursue your dreams. And most importantly, choose yourself. Your own belief in who you are and who you can become is the greatest investment of all. Choosing your circle wisely is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in life. It is not just about who you surround yourself with. It's about shaping the environment in which you thrive, grow, and become the best version of yourself. Our relationships play an incredible role in shaping our mindset, energy, and overall outlook on life. They influence how we see ourselves, what we believe is possible, and how we approach challenge. In a world where we are constantly pulled in different directions, where distractions abound, and where societal pressures can sometimes be overwhelming, one of the most important acts of self-care you can do is to intentionally curate the people who enter your life. The people you choose to share your time, thoughts, and heart with will either build you up or tear you down. And in this process of choosing, there is no room for complacency. You cannot afford to simply allow people into your life based on convenience, shared history, or mere proximity. Instead, it is about consciously selecting individuals who align with your values, support your dreams, and contribute positively to your mental and emotional well-being. This choice can be the difference between stagnation and growth, between self-doubt and self-confidence, and between surviving and thriving. We all experience moments when we feel a sense of responsibility or obligation toward people because they have been in our lives for a long time or because they are family. But we must remember that time does not necessarily equal value, and blood does not always equal loyalty. Just because someone has been in your life for years doesn't mean they are meant to stay in your life forever. Similarly, just because someone is family doesn't mean they deserve access to your energy, your peace, or your heart. In fact, some of the most draining relationships in our lives come from those who have known us the longest. The history you share with someone doesn't mean they should have an unlimited pass to your time and space, especially if they don't respect your growth or your boundaries. One of the most important things to remember when choosing your circle is that you must surround yourself with individuals who genuinely want to see you succeed, not just people who tolerate your presence or only show up when it's convenient for them. The people who cheer for you when you win, who support you when you face setbacks, and who challenge you to rise higher are the ones you want in your corner. These people are the ones who will push you to be better. They won't allow you to settle for mediocrity, and they won't let you be complacent in your comfort zone. They believe in your potential even when you can't see it for yourself. On the flip side, when you surround yourself with people who are envious, jealous, or threatened by your success, it can take a huge toll on your confidence and energy. These individuals may not always show their negativity outright, but the subtle ways in which they undermine your progress can be just as harmful. They may question your decisions, make you feel guilty for your achievements, or even subtly hold you back from taking risks. The impact of these toxic dynamics is often silent but profound, eroding your belief in yourself and dimming your light over time. It's also important to recognize that not everyone who enters your life has the right to stay. There will always be individuals who come into your life for a season. Some people are meant to teach you lessons and help you grow in specific ways, but that doesn't mean they are meant to remain in your life indefinitely. Just as seasons change, so too will the people who are meant to be part of your journey. The key here is to recognize when the time has come to let go. This doesn't mean that you don't care about them or appreciate the role they played in your life, but it means you are no longer willing to allow them to take up space in your life if their presence no longer serves your growth or well-being. Letting go can be difficult, especially when it involves someone you've been close to for a long time. But when you choose your circle wisely, you must be willing to make tough decisions and prioritize your well-being over comfort or fear of confrontation. Letting go of toxic relationships can free up space for healthier, more supportive connections to flourish. It can also allow you to reclaim your energy and focus on what truly matters, your goals, your dreams, and your personal growth. Investing in mutual growth is one of the most important aspects of building meaningful and lasting relationships. It's about recognizing that relationships, whether they are friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections, should serve as spaces where both individuals grow, evolve, and support each other in their personal journeys. The idea of mutual growth means that each person brings something valuable to the table, and both people benefit from the connection. It goes beyond the idea of just being there for each other during tough times. It's about both individuals challenging and encouraging one another to be the best versions of themselves. When this principle is embraced, relationships can become transformative, providing both parties with the opportunity to thrive. In many relationships, one person may end up carrying more of the emotional or mental weight while the other may simply be passive. This kind of imbalance can quickly become draining, leading to resentment, frustration, and eventually burnout. If you're constantly giving and not receiving, or if you find yourself in relationships where your personal growth is stifled, then it's important to reevaluate the nature of these connections. Healthy relationships require that both parties contribute to the dynamic in ways that benefit one another. This doesn't mean that both people will be in exactly the same place or that they will grow at the same pace, but it does mean that both individuals are engaged in a process of mutual support and care. One of the key aspects of mutual growth is emotional support. A relationship that fosters growth will help you feel seen, heard, and valued. When you are supported emotionally, it provides you with the strength to face challenges, to overcome obstacles, and to take risks in areas of your life that may have otherwise felt intimidating. Being emotionally supported in a relationship also means that both individuals are willing to listen, understand, and validate each other's feelings and experiences. It's not about fixing or solving every problem, but rather about creating a space where both people feel safe to express themselves, knowing that their thoughts and emotions will be respected. Beyond emotional support, mutual growth also involves intellectual growth. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge your thinking, who introduce you to new ideas, or who encourage you to expand your horizons can be incredibly enriching. A healthy relationship should push both individuals to think critically, question assumptions, and explore new perspectives. This type of growth doesn't always mean agreeing with one another, but it does mean engaging in meaningful dialogue that helps both people expand their understanding of the world. Whether it's discussing books, sharing ideas, or challenging one another's viewpoints, intellectual growth can lead to deeper connections and more fulfilling conversations. In addition to emotional and intellectual growth, mutual growth also requires the space for personal development. When you are in a relationship that prioritizes mutual growth, both people are encouraged to pursue their individual goals and aspirations. A relationship that fosters this kind of environment doesn't demand that one person give up their personal ambitions for the sake of the other, but rather celebrates each individual's journey and supports them in achieving their personal dreams. This might look like one partner encouraging the other to go back to school, start a business, or explore a new hobby. It might involve offering support during times of change or transition. Ultimately, a relationship built on mutual growth empowers both people to pursue their fullest potential, both together and individually. This idea of mutual growth extends into how you handle challenges or conflicts. In every relationship, there will be moments of disagreement, misunderstanding, or difficulty. How you navigate these moments is crucial to the overall health and growth of the relationship. If both people are committed to mutual growth, they will approach challenges with a mindset of collaboration rather than competition. Instead of trying to win an argument or prove who is right, the focus will be on understanding the other person's perspective, finding common ground, and growing together as a result of the experience. This collaborative mindset allows both people to learn from the conflict and emerge stronger with a deeper understanding of each other and the relationship. Mutual growth also requires a willingness to be vulnerable. It's easy to hide behind walls or to be guarded in relationships, especially if we've been hurt in the past. However, vulnerability is a key ingredient in any meaningful relationship. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you open yourself up to deeper connection and understanding. You allow the other person to see the real you, the person with all your strengths and weaknesses, your dreams and fears. Vulnerability is not about being perfect or having all the answers, but about being willing to share your authentic self and trust that the other person will meet you with empathy, respect, and care. A relationship that supports mutual growth is also one where accountability is valued. Both people should feel comfortable holding each other accountable for their actions, words, and behaviors. This doesn't mean pointing fingers or placing blame, but rather helping each other stay true to their values and goals. When both people are held accountable, they can continue to evolve and grow, ensuring that neither person becomes complacent or stagnant. This level of accountability fosters a sense of responsibility within the relationship, where both individuals are committed to doing their part in ensuring the connection remains strong, healthy, and mutually beneficial. It's also important to acknowledge that mutual growth doesn't always look like smooth, constant progress. There will be ups and downs, moments of challenge and setbacks, but the key is to remain committed to the process of growing together. This requires patience, resilience, and a willingness to put in the work. As people grow and change, relationships must also be adaptable. You may find that your needs and desires evolve over time, and it's essential that both people are open to these shifts. A relationship that fosters mutual growth will be flexible and responsive to these changes, allowing both people to continue growing while staying connected and aligned. Investing in mutual growth creates a foundation for a healthy, fulfilling, and lasting relationship. It allows both individuals to develop a deeper sense of self-awareness and personal fulfillment, all while strengthening the bond between them. When both people are dedicated to supporting each other's growth, emotionally, intellectually, and personally, the relationship becomes a source of empowerment, encouragement, and transformation. In this kind of relationship, both individuals rise together, lifting each other up and creating a space where they can both thrive. Trusting your instincts is one of the most powerful tools you have when navigating life's challenges and making important decisions. Our instincts are an inherent part of who we are, shaped by our experiences, knowledge, and subconscious understanding of the world around us. However, in today's fast-pacing, information-driven world, it is easy to second-guess ourselves, overthink, or rely on external advice instead of listening to that quiet inner voice that often knows what's best for us. Trusting your instincts is not about making rash decisions without thought, but rather about tuning into the wisdom that resides within you and giving yourself permission to act with confidence and conviction. Instincts are often dismissed or overlooked because they don't always align with logical reasoning or the opinions of others. There is a tendency to believe that decisions should always be rational, measured, and based on facts. While logic certainly has its place, it is equally important to recognize that our instincts are not simply random feelings or gut reactions. They are informed by our subconscious mind, drawing from our life experiences, past encounters, and intuitive understanding of situations that we may not be fully conscious of. Our instincts can act as a guide, helping us navigate uncertain waters and make choices that align with our true values, even when the path ahead seems unclear. One of the first steps in learning to trust your instincts is acknowledging the importance of self-awareness. The more in tune you are with yourself, your values, and your desires, the easier it becomes to hear your inner voice. Self-awareness allows you to distinguish between what you truly want and what external influences might be pushing you toward. It helps you identify the moments when you are listening to others or letting outside pressures cloud your judgment. When you are grounded in who you are, your instincts become clearer and more reliable. You begin to understand what feels right for you, what resonates with your soul, and what leads you toward fulfillment. Many times, we dismiss our instincts out of fear. Fear of making the wrong decision, fear of being judged by others, or fear of failure can cause us to doubt the natural inclinations we have. When you are faced with uncertainty, it's easy to look for validation from friends, family, or colleagues. While seeking advice can be helpful, it's essential to remember that no one knows you better than you know yourself. Others may offer their perspective, but ultimately, the decision is yours to make. Trusting your instincts means being willing to make choices based on your inner knowing, even if they don't align with what others expect or what seems to be the safe option. It's about having the courage to act based on what feels right for you, even if it involves stepping into the unknown. Another challenge in trusting your instincts is learning to differentiate between fear-based reactions and true gut feelings. Often, when we face new or unfamiliar situations, our first instinct may be to run away or avoid the challenge altogether. This is a natural response to fear. But it is important to distinguish between fear that is rooted in past trauma or limiting beliefs and instincts that are trying to protect us from real danger or harm. Trusting your instincts doesn't mean acting impulsively out of fear, but rather understanding when your intuition is guiding you toward a choice that aligns with your well-being. True instincts will feel calm and centered, while fear often manifests as anxiety, doubt, or a sense of unease. By becoming aware of your emotional state, you can better assess whether your instincts are based on genuine intuition or if they are merely a response to fear. One of the key benefits of trusting your instincts is the confidence it brings. The more you listen to your inner voice and act on it, the more you strengthen your trust in yourself. Each time you make a decision based on your instincts, and it leads to a positive outcome, you build a sense of self-assurance and a deeper belief in your ability to navigate life's complexities. Over time, this builds resilience as you become more comfortable with uncertainty and better able to trust the process of life. Confidence isn't about having all the answers or knowing exactly how things will unfold. It's about having faith in your ability to figure things out and trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. Instincts are also a crucial part of building healthy, authentic relationships. When you trust your instincts in social and interpersonal situations, you become more attuned to the dynamics of those around you. You can sense when someone is being sincere or when they are not fully open with you. This intuitive ability can help you protect yourself from toxic or manipulative individuals, and it can guide you toward connections that align with your values and goals. When you trust your instincts, you become better at reading people and situations, allowing you to make decisions that promote mutual respect and understanding in your relationship. Setting clear boundaries is an essential part of protecting your well-being, and it's something that many of us tend to overlook or underestimate in our relationship. It is easy to fall into the trap of saying yes when you really mean no, or overextending yourself for the sake of keeping the peace or avoiding confrontation. But the truth is, when you do this, you are sacrificing your own needs, and over time, this can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a deep sense of frustration. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are about saying yes to yourself, your peace, your mental health, and your priorities. They are a way of showing self-respect, and in doing so, you teach others to respect you as well. Boundaries can be difficult to establish, especially if you are not used to asserting yourself, or if you've grown up in environments where boundaries were not respected or even acknowledged. Many of us are conditioned to believe that saying no is selfish, or that it makes us unkind. But the reality is that without boundaries, we lose our sense of self. We become so focused on meeting others' expectations, fulfilling their demands, or making them happy that we forget to take care of our own emotional and mental health. Setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind, but about protecting your energy and maintaining a sense of balance in your life. It's important to understand that boundaries are not just about saying no to things that drain you, but also about creating space for what truly matters. They allow you to prioritize your time, your energy, and your resources. When you set clear boundaries, you are consciously deciding how to allocate your emotional energy and time, making room for things and people that align with your values and contribute positively to your life. By setting these limits, you are giving yourself the space to grow and to nurture the relationships and activities that truly matter. One of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries is the fear of disappointing others or facing conflict. We all want to be liked, and we often fear that setting boundaries will make us come across as rude, unapproachable, or uncaring. But the reality is that people who truly care about you will understand and respect your boundaries. They will recognize that when you say no or ask for space, it is not a reflection of how you feel about them, but a reflection of your need to take care of yourself. People who respect your boundaries are the ones who value your well-being and understand that relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding. On the other hand, those who push back against your boundaries or make you feel guilty for having them are likely not the people you want to invest your time and energy in. Respecting boundaries is a basic act of kindness and self-awareness, and anyone who cares for you will respect that. It is also important to note that boundaries are not one size fits all. What works for one relationship may not work for another, and boundaries can look different in different contexts. For example, the boundaries you set in your family relationships may differ from those you set in your friendships or in a romantic relationship. Similarly, the boundaries you establish at work will likely be different from the boundaries you set in your personal life. The key is to be clear about what your needs are in each situation and communicate those needs in a way that is firm yet respectful. Sometimes setting boundaries requires difficult conversations. It may feel uncomfortable to tell someone that their behavior is not acceptable or to explain why you need space or time for yourself. However, these conversations are necessary for your well-being and for the health of your relationships. When you communicate your boundaries effectively, you are creating an environment where honesty and respect can thrive. By speaking up about what you need, you are teaching others how to treat you and making it clear that your needs are just as important as theirs. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is recognizing that they are not static. Your boundaries may shift over time, depending on your life circumstances, personal growth, or changes in your relationships. For instance, there may be times when you need more space to focus on personal projects, or times when you need to set stricter limits around your time and energy. Your boundaries should be flexible enough to accommodate your evolving needs. And it is important to check in with yourself regularly to ensure that your boundaries still align with your goals and well-being. One of the biggest benefits of setting boundaries is the sense of freedom and empowerment it brings. When you establish and enforce your boundaries, you stop living on autopilot and start making conscious decisions about how you spend your time, energy, and emotions. You no longer feel as though you are at the mercy of others' demands or expectations, and you regain control over your life. Boundaries give you the confidence to prioritize your needs and protect your peace. They enable you to say yes to what matters most to you and to say no to what does not. As you begin to set clear boundaries in your life, it's essential to practice self-compassion. There will be times when you may feel guilty for putting yourself first or when you struggle to enforce your boundaries. But remember that self-care is not selfish. It is necessary for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. When you take the time to set and honor your boundaries, you are not only showing respect for yourself, but you are also creating space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships with others. By respecting your own limits, you teach others to do the same, and you create a positive, respectful environment for yourself and those around you. Knowing your worth is one of the most empowering steps you can take in your personal journey. It's not just about recognizing your skills, talents, or accomplishments, but about understanding that you as a whole person are valuable and deserving of respect, love, and success. Many of us, at different points in our lives, struggle with self-doubt or insecurity. We look to others for validation, and we may even rely on external factors, whether it's achievements, appearances, or status, to define our sense of worth. But true self-worth comes from within. It comes from the understanding that your value isn't dependent on what you do, what you achieve, or how others perceive you, but from the simple fact that you are enough just as you are. The journey to truly knowing your worth often begins with a process of unlearning. We are conditioned by society, by family, by peers to measure our value based on external metrics. We are told that we must fit into certain molds to be worthy, that we must chase after societal markers of success to prove our worth. This kind of thinking can lead us to feel like we are constantly falling short, always striving to meet standards that are not our own. But the truth is, your worth has never been tied to these external measurements. Your worth is intrinsic. It exists in the essence of who you are. It is in the way you carry yourself, the love you give, the kindness you show, and the courage you display in the face of adversity. The first step toward understanding your worth is to recognize that it's not something you need to earn. It's already there within you, waiting to be acknowledged and embraced. So often, we find ourselves working tirelessly to prove our worth to others, whether it's in our careers, relationships, or personal lives. We may feel like we need to constantly prove ourselves, to meet expectations, or to win approval. This mindset can lead to burnout and frustration because no matter how much we achieve or how hard we work, we may still feel like it's never enough. But when you truly understand that your worth is inherent, you stop seeking external validation. You start to trust your own value and live from a place of confidence and self-assurance. Part of recognizing your worth also involves letting go of the need to compare yourself to others. Comparison is one of the biggest thieves of self-worth. When we compare ourselves to others, we often focus on what we perceive to be their strengths while downplaying our own. This creates a sense of inadequacy, as if we are not measuring up to some impossible standard. But the truth is, comparison doesn't serve us. Everyone is on their own unique path, and their journey is not yours. The only person you need to compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. By focusing on your own growth and progress, you can celebrate your own victories without feeling threatened by someone else's. When you stop measuring your worth by someone else's standards, you can truly begin to embrace your own individuality. Another essential aspect of knowing your worth is learning to set boundaries and say no when necessary. When you know your worth, you begin to recognize that your time, energy, and attention are valuable commodities. You no longer allow others to take from you without giving anything in return. You learn to say no to things that drain you, to people who don't appreciate you, and to situations that don't align with your values or goals. Saying no doesn't make you selfish. It makes you self-respecting. It means you are honoring your own needs and protecting your peace. It's a clear message to the world that you know what you deserve and you are not willing to settle for less. Knowing your worth also means taking ownership of your narrative. So often we allow the opinions of others to define us. We internalize criticism, carry the weight of judgment, and let the world's perception of us dictate how we see ourselves. But when you truly know your worth, you stop letting the opinions of others shape your identity. You take control of your story and you define who you are. You choose to believe in your potential and pursue your dreams, regardless of whether others understand or support you. You stop seeking permission to live your life on your terms, and instead you make decisions based on your own desires, not someone else's expectation. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or refusing to grow. It means that you no longer let external influences dictate your sense of value. You know that you are worthy of success, love, and happiness, not because of what others say, but because of who you are at your core. You begin to make decisions that reflect your true self based on what aligns with your values, goals, and aspirations. One of the most important parts of knowing your worth is recognizing that it is not tied to your past mistakes or failures. We all make mistakes. We all have moments of doubt, fear, and insecurity. But those moments do not define us. Your past does not determine your worth or your future. The way you rise from your challenges, how you learn and grow from your experiences is what defines you. When you understand your worth, you forgive yourself for your past missteps, and you allow yourself to move forward with the knowledge that you are capable of great things. Knowing your worth also requires self-compassion. It's easy to be critical of ourselves, especially in a world that places so much emphasis on perfection. But perfection is an illusion. No one is perfect, and we all have areas of growth. Self-compassion means being kind to yourself in moments of struggle and understanding that you are deserving of love and respect, even when you fall short. It means embracing your imperfections, understanding that they are part of what makes you human, and recognizing that your worth is not diminished by your flaws. Knowing your worth is about recognizing that you are enough as you are. You do not need to be someone else to be worthy of love, success, or happiness. You do not need to prove your value through accomplishments or validation from others. Your worth comes from the fact that you exist. You are worthy because you are you. When you embrace this truth, you begin to live with confidence, authenticity, and a deep sense of self-assurance. You stop settling for less than you deserve, and you start demanding the respect, love, and success that are your birthright.
There's a fire in the distance, and the smoke fills up my lungs. I hear footsteps in the silence, like a war that's yet to come. These fears keep ringing, 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 ringing. These fears keep ringing. The storm is rising in my mind. I taste the ash on my tongue, like a truth I can't outrun. My shadow walks without me, and the night never ends. These doubts keep digging, 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 digging. These doubts keep digging, 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 digging. I feel the weight of the heavy sky, holding my breath as the angels cry. No one sees, but I can't lie. The storm is rising in my mind. Beneath the dirt, I'll plant my pain, where thunder speaks my name again. And if I break alone, but even stone remembers rain. These fears keep ringing, 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 ringing. These fears keep ringing,